Namaste. I see the divine in you as you see the divine in me. Namaste. And isn't it always the most beautiful way to greet each other? As I see the divine in you and you see the divine in me, we learn to trust in divine, and we learn to see divine within all of us. As each one of us is from divine. And here we are looking towards divine guidance and how we can go towards divine love consciousness. And in the great cosmic alignment, all those who become activated with the great mountain of light, Ka'airon, are aligning upwards to higher star frequencies of love, so that we can learn to become of love consciousness once again with a great galactic team of light. And it is so beautiful to be part of that. So I encourage everyone to receive the activations, because it is more beautiful than what you can possibly imagine when you're not activated. But a choice is always ours to have. So I invite you to please to listen to the teachers this evening, as they will speak to you from the most beautiful divine realms of all the teachings of the highest love and the highest truth. So I'm going to read out the forgiveness statement first, and then I'm going to close my eyes to allow the teachers to speak to you. Ka'airon, I bring you now into my spaces of love and healing. I ask for your presence and for your love to be with me at this time. I forgive all that has caused my pain to happen. I release it now. I allow the angels to take it away for me. I bring in the love and the peace, and I desire to understand more joy and self-love. I surround myself with the highest loving divine beings who are here to take care of me. I let go of all fear within me. I release it. I trust that all things are perfect as they are. I am ready to love myself and all of life more. Thank you, Ka'airon. Thank you, great divine love. And thank you very much for watching and learning to love and loving all of life. Namaste. Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, and I welcome you here to these spaces of learning to love greater and learning to be happy with all things in life, and learning to be forgiving. I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, say, happy is the one who understands these are the times of the great awakening. Happy is the one who desires to learn the higher path of love and truth. Happy is the one that learns to understand how to go within the heart greater, to gain more guidance and the great love. It is the time when the people need to learn to become more of peace within themselves. It is the time when people need to understand how wonderful it is to be alive at this moment. For there are so many opportunities coming for the ones who desire the highest road of the great love. Happy is the one who is courageous enough to walk upon the highest path of the love, for they will be shepherded to the greatness, and they will not hunger spiritually, nor will they thirst, and they will understand how important it is to feed from the spiritual feast we have prepared for you. 2,000 years ago, when my designated channel Jesus was upon your plain, the people also heard about the spiritual food. And Jesus talked about the spiritual food constantly, how important it was to take part of it each and every day. He stated, with my being sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, each day you are grateful for your food, are you not? You have your bread to fill you. You have your vegetables to nourish you. You have your water to ensure you do not thirst. Do you not know that the spiritual food is more important than your physical food? For physical food will only nourish your physical soul, but the spiritual food from the Great Father will always nourish you. For the greatest Spirit of the Great Father will give you everlasting nourishment. It is more important to feed yourselves spiritually than it is to feed yourselves physically. And the people 2,000 years ago also were very much in the awareness of how important the physical food was, just like the people are at this time. Many people upon your plain do not understand how important it is to feed spiritually or how to do that. So the people 2,000 years ago learned from Jesus. Each and every day, feel the Father within your heart and be in the quietness. Open your heart up to the Great Father and allow Him to speak to you in the quietness. And then speak to the Great Father like He is a friend. For the Great Father knows all your needs more than a great friend does upon the earth. For the Great Father knows everything about your purpose. He knows what your needs are in that moment. Do you not think that the Great Father will care for you? So learn to understand the path of the Great Father. Learn to understand what pleases the Great Father. It is not reciting the scriptures over and over and over again that gives the Great Father delight. For then the Great Father will state, what do the scriptures mean to you? For they are merely words to you, are they not? What is inside of your heart is more important than reciting the same words over and over and over again. It is what you feel within. Talk to the great Father like you do a friend. Open your heart. Do not say the same prayers over and over and over again. For the learned men of those ones who are in the preaching houses state how important it is to state the same words over and over and over again, like the Father is a ritual, but the Father is a living being, just like you are. And He wants you to open your heart so that the Father can bless your heart. Learn to not be afraid of what is within the heart. Learn to not be afraid of the great Father, for you believe, this is what the people believed 2,000 years ago, that the great Father is a Father of judgment, that you need to state your prayers so many times a day. The great Father is not a God of judgment. He is a Father of great love. He wants His children to pray to Him when they desire it. For prayer is communication. It is not simply a machine, although that is a word that I have placed in the language now, for they did not have the machines 2,000 years ago, but the people, you understand that word now. And a machine is a good word, for the people believed that they were a machine 2,000 years ago. You state your prayers, the great God of judgment listened, and then they prayed that they would not be judged. But Jesus was teaching them another way. Learn to understand that the great Father is alive. He is a living being. And the great Father desires all to become more alive. And when you speak to Him with a great love, then you will understand greater love. That is what being alive means, to listen to the great Father when He speaks to you. But how can you speak to the great Father with your heart when you recite the same scriptures, the same words over and over and over and over and over again at the same times each day? Do you not know that the great Father is deaf to those people who state the same things over and over and over a day, each day, the same time, as if the Father listens at certain times of the day? Do you not know that the great Father is alive constantly? He never turns off. He is always listening. It is the same for the people in your days. For so many people recite the same prayers over and over and over again, as if it is supposed to bring them protection and blessings. But I say, as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, do you not know that those prayers are made by men who are deaf? I have always stated through my designated channel, Jesus, teach the people to pray from the heart. For it is not the words that I listen to, it is what is within the heart. And it is the same that I'm teaching now through my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel. And I will not speak through anyone else. Listen to the heart, for I as the great Father Emmanuel the Great, will not listen to the prayers that people recite over and over and over again. For what good is that? What is teaching that to you? Nothing. You are simply reciting the same words without feeling within, without becoming more alive. Look at all the people that bow down to the sun and all those gods. It is not that I, as the true Father, listened to. I listen to the one who searches for the truth and for the light and for the highest freedom. And there is only one road upwards, and that is the road of the greatest love and truth and freedom. Jesus, my designated channel 2,000 years ago, spoke these words also. I am the road, I am the way, I am the freedom. It wasn't Jesus who was the road, although he is in a spiritual sense, because it is the designated channel that I speak through. Just like Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, she is the holy messenger. So spiritually speaking, you can say that she is the one that brings through the great road of freedom. But it is my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, who is the great road, who is the great path, who is the great light, who is the great freedom. There is no other way. The people 2,000 years ago were greatly puzzled, as many people upon your plane are puzzled also. For many people stated to Jesus 2,000 years ago, but Jesus, there are many roads and many paths. Our religious leaders also speak of paths. How come it is your Father who is the one road to the higher path? And Jesus brought through the following words. Because it is the great Father, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, who created all of life. And that is what I did together with the great mountain of light, the great Chiron. All life was created because of the very high path. And Jesus stated, so the great Father Emmanuel is looking for the ones who desire the higher road and the higher path. He is looking for the ones who are earnest and truth seeking, for they are the ones who will desire the highest path. For only the great Lord can bring through the greatest path. How can any other religious leader bring through the greatest path when they do not know the highest way of the great Lord? For they speak many words, and they write their own laws. You must do this, you must do that, because it is what the great God in the heavens desires you to do. But that is not what the great Father Emmanuel the Great desires you to do, is to follow the words from the religious leaders. He desires all to listen to the highest ways of love and truth, to go within the heart, to find the Father within. For the Father will only speak to those who are looking for the highest truth. So go into your chambers and open your heart and seek truth within you. For you will find there is only one great road upwards. There are no other roads. There's only one. For the great Father is the path. How can there be many paths when the great Father desires all to go to the highest path? That would not make sense, would it? The great Father is the path. of the great love. He does not bring confusion among mankind. When people tell you there are so many roads, that brings confusion. But the great sovereign Father, Emmanuel the Great, is the great Father of the greatest clarity. Why would he bring confusion to you? Why would he say, do this, and then do that, and then do that, and that's okay, and then do that? For that is not what the great Father will say. The great Father will bring one teaching, one road, one path, and that is the highest way of love and truth. And he brings through the greatest truth. And he desires all of his creation to find that great truth. But to find the great truth is not easy. For how can it be easy when so many roads are being spoken of as truth with the great leaders? For they will all confuse you. They speak to you of judgment. They speak to you of things not true. They give you many burdens. They say, go and pray many times a day. And if you don't do that, you will be judged. That is not what the great Father, the sovereign Lord, says. He says there is only one road upwards. How can there be many roads upwards? How can he, when he is the great Father of the great truth? For he is not a great Father, the great sovereign Father, who desires confusion. People bring confusion. They desire their own path. They desire to stand in their own preaching houses and say, look at me, I am the great Father. The great Father says, you are not of the great Father. You are not of the great truth. For then you are seeking your own truth, not the great Father's truth. And so it is today also. The same teachings apply. There is only one truth and one way. So I, as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, desire all people upon your earth to begin the greater road of love and to forgive each other and to let go of all things that cause anger and judgment. For I, as the great Lord, do not judge you. There is no judgment in the greatest spaces of love. Learn to go within the heart and find the great truth within you. I, as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have now returned to your plane, like I always promised. And now my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, is rising, as she is the messenger for the great divine, and there is no other. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.
Greetings.